Joey and I visited 29 national parks this year. At every national park we go to, we take a picture with the welcome sign. So today we're going to rank all 29. Coming in 29, Sequoia National Park. This national park sign is problematic. The Native American it depicts is a stereotype of a Great Plains Native American, which is not the peoples that have lived in this area for thousands of years. What makes it even more cringe is there's a placard underneath acknowledging the fact that it's racist, but continuing to renovate it and keep it as the sign in the front of the park is inappropriate. 0 out of 10, last on our list. Coming in at 28 is Kobuk Valley National Park. This national park doesn't actually have a sign, so it comes in at 28. At number 27 is Gates of the Arctic National Park. This one also doesn't have a park sign. In 26th place is Glacier Bay National Park. We visited this national park on a cruise ship, which meant we couldn't get a picture with the sign, so that stinks. In 25th place, it is Mount Rainier National Park. As you can see, we are not standing with the sign because the sign goes over the road and is only at one of the entrance points, which means when we drove in, we were like, oh yeah, we'll see another one on our way out. We didn't, so we don't have a picture with it. The sign itself over the road was actually pretty cool, but super dangerous if you're trying to get a photo. You'd have to stand in the middle of it. In 24th place, we have Yosemite National Park. It's on the side of the road without a pull-off or parking, and it's super sketchy to get your picture taken there. In 23rd place, we have Kings Canyon National Park. This one had the same problem as Yosemite with it being on the side of the road and inaccessible. At least here, we were able to park Clifford and then walk up the street to find one. This particular sign, is actually not at the main entrance. It's kind of towards the back of the park. In 22nd place, we have White Sands National Park. There's nothing wrong with this sign. It's just a little bit boring. Coming in at 21 is Katmai National Park. This sign is also a little bit boring, but there was a chance that a brown bear would come out from the woods, so that added a little bit of spice. 20th on the list is Saguaro National Park. I like the metal saguaro cactus, but other than that, meh. 19th place goes to Grand Canyon National Park. Sign's alright. In 18th place is the sign for Petrified Forest National Park. This sign's really big, and that's fun. 17th place is Joshua Tree National Park. This sign has seen better days. It's a little bit run down, but it's also carved into the wood, and I like that. 16th place is the sign for Guadalupe Mountains National Park. This one is metal and shiny and draws you in like a moth to a flame. Love it. In 15th place, we have the sign for Crater Lake National Park. This one is on a pull-off, so there's plenty of space to queue up and get your picture with it. It's dangly, and that's also pretty cool. 14th place goes to Pinnacles National Park. This sign is located further into the park than all of the other ones, but it's still pretty neat, and there's a place to stand. In 13th place, we have Redwoods. This sign was adjacent to a parking lot, which scored many bonus points. It's also really big, much like the trees that are in the park, so 10 out of 10. Coming in at number 12 is the sign for Channel Islands National Park. Joey insisted on this ranking pretty high because he said, quote, it is on a dock, and that is cool. 11th place goes to Lassen Volcanic National Park. This sign had little tiers that you could sit or stand on, which made for a cute pic. Look at us. We're now at the top 10, so drumroll. Brrr. In number 10 is Carlsbad Caverns National Park. This sign is carved out of the stone that matches the area, and that gives it good vibes. In 9th place is the sign for Big Bend National Park. It has a nice little standing area where you can take cute pics. It's also metal, which is a little bit different than all the other ones. In 8th place, Death Valley National Park. The sign just looks like it took a while to construct, and I appreciate the hard work. I also like that they immediately acknowledge the native homeland that it exists on in a much more respectful way, looking at you, Sequoia National Park. 7th place, we have the sign for Lake Clark National Park. This one's carved out of wood. They put in some effort. Points to them. 6th place is the sign for Wrangell St. Elias National Park in Alaska. This one is super detailed and you can't quite see, but there's like the metal swooshies of the mountain range. Really like that. Didn't love the amount of mosquito bites we got taking this picture. We have made it to the top 5. In 5th place, we have Kenai Fjords National Park. This sign is robust. These logs were thick and it also overlooks a glacier, so we like that. 4th place goes to Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. This sign is made with volcanic rock, and it's actually really cool to see up close in person. The 3rd place national park sign goes to Olympic National Park. This sign has its own parking lot. It is robust with very big logs, also fantastic. It includes the language of the native people who call this land home, and we look cute, so that's why it's in the top 3. The second best national park sign we saw in 29 national parks this year is the sign for Denali National Park. This sign is big, it is detailed, it is carved, solid wood, beautiful, and there's some rocks right there that you can jump off of and get a cute picture, which is not this picture because when I jumped, I looked foolish. And the best national park sign of all 29 parks we visited this year is hands down, full agreement between Joey and I, North Cascades National Park. This is like not a diorama, but it's basically a smaller version of the North Cascades, and it includes fake snow just above my head. It is beautiful, it is fun, it is detailed, and it is the clear winner of all 29 national park signs. We look forward to next year when we visit the rest of the 63 national parks and can rank those then. Thanks for sticking around.